Welcome back to Walsall Fan TV, the joy and the pain. We've gained a little bit more joy, aren't we? Fan chat, and it's time for the running. So who have we got with us this week? We got Phil, and we got Super Saddlers Seb's joining us for the first time. So excellent, good to have you with us. We go to Seb first. Are you as surprised as everybody else how well we're doing?
Completely, mate. I remember speaking to you at Mansfield at home, and I thought we were doomed for another 16th place finish, to be honest with you. I thought, so we played Crawley, weren't it, on the Tuesday night before that, and I thought,
yeah,
we were absolutely awful. But yeah, something's changed. I think Sadler's gone believing the whole team, and I think, little changes. I think defensively, I think this is the best we've looked all season. And, we haven't even got our key defenders in, Donovan Daniels and Farquharson. We've got a really good young defence, and I think it's just a complete change of dimension. The way we're playing to our strengths. I think what we do very well at the moment, I think we don't invite pressure, but when they get a shot off or something, we've got bodies in the way, we'll put some vital blocks in, and then
bodies on the line,
yeah, 100%. And then when we break away on the counter attack, our intent and our tempo is really raised. I think, Hutchinson's getting into better positions, and I think the front two is really clicking at the moment. Jamil Matt and Josh Gordon. I think Josh Gordon's outstanding. I think his work goes unnoticed a lot. But to answer your question, I just can't believe where we are in the league.
At the managers' forum, they asked Matt Sadler what had changed. The guy who asked the question was quite critical, really. He said it was totally rubbish, and now we're doing really well. What's changed? Matt Sadler said nothing. We're doing exactly the same, but we're not, are we, Phil?
No.
Well, we're not doing exactly the same because we're winning for a start. So yeah. I mean, again, back at what Seb just said, I feared the worst, particularly after that spanking we got against Newport at home. I really did fear that we would fall off a cliff again, like we did last season in the new year. But yeah, not a bit of it. We've had a great run since then. And actually, to be fair, it goes back a bit longer than that. If you look at our form over the last sort of 15, 16 games, it's pretty good because obviously we had that run over Christmas where we won 5 out of 6. Then we tailed off a little bit. We had a couple of iffy results, but then picked up again in recent weeks and got 5 on the bounce. So we've actually won 10 of our last 16 games, which is really good form, and a few draws in there as well. So what's changed for me is I think confidence is a big thing when you're winning. The team look more confident. They look like they know what they're doing. We've had a pretty settled team the last few weeks as well. Again, agree with what Seb said about the defence. I think they've been excellent. I think that back three complement each other really well. And I think it'd be a brave man to change that, even if players do come back from fitness. And I think we've kind of worked out what we're doing in games. We're not afraid to let teams have possession and have the ball in areas that don't hurt us. And then we look dangerous on the counter attack. When we get the ball, we attack with a bit more purpose. And we've got some key players who are finding form at the right time. So long may it continue.
If we think back, we were, I think rightfully so, we were questioning whether Sadler was the man for us. And people were sort of on the fence, I put a poll out and people were saying, "Oh, give him till the end of the season." Some, as we now were saying, sort of have him gone. Ben Boycott came over, and it seems to have completely changed then. So Ben Boycott and the Trevella boys, whatever he said to Matt Sadler worked then. Lee's always banging on about just have a go and stop being so negative. And as we got a comment there from Addy Burns, confidence is everything in a young squad. That obviously helps. And as you say, not being worried to let the opposition have the ball, because Doncaster knocked the ball around very well, and their manager was saying they controlled the game, but we let them control the game. They had the ball in their half, passing it round as much as they like. As soon as they came near us, bam, the swarm attacked them, and we were back on it again.
Yeah, I thought the only period of the game yesterday where we lost a little bit of control was the first sort of 10, 15 minutes of the second half, where I thought we did let them have a little bit too much of the ball and a little bit too much of the ball inside our half, and obviously they got the equaliser in that period, which was a good goal, to be fair. It was a nice cross,
excellent finish,
good finish. So I don't think we did too much wrong. Liam Gordon maybe got a bit narrow and didn't get out to the winger, but in the first half, Doncaster looking to play the ball out from the back, but how did the first goal come about? First goal came about because they tried to play out from the back. Liam Gordon intercepted it, whipped a great crossover, and Gordon did the rest. So yeah, and then I thought that the longer the second half went on, the more we pushed, the more we pressed them, and the more we stopped them playing out, and the more chances we created as a result.
Yeah. Just one message here. How Paul is well. How's MJB, Seb? So it's
yeah, he's all good. Yeah, he still comes to the home games, but no, yeah, he's still ticking along.
He's waiting for it to warm up, probably, isn't he? That's
Yeah. He always whines on how cold it is at the game, so yeah, he'll be looking forward to them summer games coming up.
I think we all will. We haven't got Lee here with us this week, but 7 wins out of 11 games will get us past the 75-point mark. If we won the next 11 games, we get third. Third is a bit of a dream, isn't it?
Yeah, that's dreaming, I think. Don't say never know, really.
Yeah.
But you never know, because the thing, like Stockport are slipping up, aren't they? So it's not completely gone, but I'm still happy. I've said all along that if we're in the playoff shake-up, I'll be happy. It'd be a good season. There's nothing worse than not being involved in the end of the season. That's the frustration thing. As David Pye is saying there, having more pace in the team is a big thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when we go forward, we attack with pace. I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think Josh Gordon, some of the running he does on and off the ball, I remember one on Tuesday night, I think we nearly scored off it. He made a little run down the wing, and I think it was Adebayo who got a shot off. Yeah, really good. And, like I said earlier, I think we're just playing a bit more tempo and a bit more conviction going forward, which is all you need. I mean, Trivela winding on about this front foot football, and this is what we're seeing at the moment. Wish we could have seen it a little bit before, because we could have been in around the top 3. If we could have been playing like this a little bit earlier on, but I'm not complaining. 5 wins on the bounce, pretty decent.
No, it is. This is normally a marathon, isn't it, Phil? When we have.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's been ones we've done in the past where being positive has been a lot more difficult than it is at the moment. Yeah. So let's hope it. Let's hope it keeps going. I mean, the big thing for me as well. I mean, talking about one of the things that's changed, and the big thing that's changed for me is I'm enjoying going to the football again. I mean, we have sat through some absolute dross over the last few years. Let's be honest, and I was getting a little bit fed up with trying to support certain individuals who are absolutely burgling a living as professional footballers. We've actually got a team now that I think we've got a lot of decent players in that team. We've got young players who can get better. I know some of them are on loan, but they're doing a great job. Everyone's together. You can see everyone's giving it everything they've got. And that's getting us a long way at the moment. Plus, as I say, a bit of quality as well, a bit of extra quality in certain areas, key players hitting form at the right time. And I've really enjoyed the last few games. Back the home, the atmosphere at the home games the last few weeks has been excellent. Particularly evident when we went 1-0 down against Accrington. The reaction of the fans was fantastic. There was no booing. There was none of that nonsense. They just started chanting, get behind the team. And the same again when Doncaster equalised yesterday. There's a togetherness at the moment with the team and with the fans, and that can only be a good thing.
Absolutely. I think we did criticise Matt Sadler previously because he wasn't using the bench. It seems now that he's got more confidence in the guys on the bench. Like to bring Malfile and DJT on, he's got more confidence in them. And maybe the guys were there before and he just didn't somehow want to give them the chance, didn't he? Like Ram, we thought Ram could have done with more minutes. And he just didn't want to give him the minutes. He says of Joe Folks that he's monitoring his his game very closely, and he's been very careful the way he uses him. But I mean, Joe Fowkes, we know he's very frustrated because he's just not had any football. After 2 years playing for Kiddie and playing every week, he's like hardly had a kick. So after such a big gap, him coming into the team would be a challenge for him. But he has a couple of cameos recently. So he's showing that he is getting him involved now, which is better. When DJ comes back, I'm thinking, because we are in the next 11 games playing more of the teams that are down the bottom than they are at the top, and it is likely that Walsall are going to be having more of the ball and attacking teams more, and they'll be sitting in trying to defend. So is that when DJ comes into his own? What do you think, Seb?
Well, at the moment, you don't change a winning team, do you? I think, like I said before, I think the two up front we got. I've been a big critic of Jamil Matt, to be honest with you, with his time at Walsall, but I can't fault him at the moment. His work ethic's outstanding, and he's winning his headers a bit more now, which we haven't seen for, since he signed with us. But I love DJ. I think he's a natural goal scorer, which it's really hard to teach a player to get into the right place at the right time to score. So I think he's outstanding in that. But at the moment, you can't drop Josh Gordon and Jamil Matt. I think they're both playing outstanding. But he's another option, isn't he, DJ? Offers something different for us. So, yeah.
I think the people that booed Jamil Matt when he was brought on as a substitute, they'll probably be feeling really bad now. Because that was out of order at the time. And now he's playing so well when we can see what a fit Jamil Matt looks like.
Yeah.
It's almost embarrassing that anybody booed him.
Yeah, I think he's a good leader as well. I mean, ever since he's been given the captain's armband, I think we've won 5 on the trot. So, yeah, I think he's a good leader to look up to in the dressing room. We've got some young lads in there. The back three, for example, I think our oldest centre back is Tyler Allen, he's 23 odd. So,
23,
he's a good leader, good experience, and credit to him.
Yeah, he's like where Donovan Daniels was playing 3 positions, playing centre half, cam, and centre forward almost. Jamil Matt is our best centre half, isn't he, at set pieces?
Oh, wow, he wins everything. Unreal.
Question from Rob Holden about Alty. Yes, he has had a setback. Hope he's going to be available for the running, because again, if there's a game where we need to break a team down, his pace coming on late on is going to be a big credit to us, I think. Again, I think, as you say, keeping the winning team, but DJ coming off the bench is another possibility. But the question I asked at the managers forum was, with the Priest and Donovan Daniels injured and the back three doing so well, when they're fit, do you keep the shirt if you're doing well, or does the senior pro come in? Now, Nigel Clough, he's very clear that he's got, these are my starters, these are my backup players, and when the starters are ready, he'll just put them straight back in. I asked Matt Sadler that question, but he sort of skipped it really and said they were both the Priest and Daniels were a while away, so he didn't have that decision to make yet. But that could be an unsettling thing, because we talked about Jackson Smith had done well, and then he brought Owen Evans back in, and that seemed like the wrong thing to do. And the booing of, or rather the calling for the red card for our own player was ridiculous. And they did talk about that at the managers forum. For me, that was more about Sadler than Owen Evans, because the average fan knew that was the wrong decision to take Jackson Smith out.
Yeah.
So hope he's learnt from that.
It's crossed.
So as far as players wise, Jamil Matt has obviously had a big impact. Who else do you think is sort of made the biggest impact to the team in the last 2 months? Phil?
You can take
Okay.
this one.
Yeah, I'll go first. I think Jack Earing's been superb since he came back from injury. And I like the fact that he's now playing not as a CDM, as in a more advanced role. I think that midfield three of Comley, Hutchinson, and Earing works really well. Comley as well. I think people are starting to realise the job that he does and how important the job is that he does. I think he's come in for a lot of unfair stick over the course of the last few years. But I think he's really upped his game this season, and I think he's been excellent. Agree with what Seb said about the forwards. Jamil Matt, I was as well. I wasn't his biggest fan, but I think he's been a hell of a lot better in recent weeks. Him and Gordon are forming a good partnership. DJ will have his part to play. So will Ote. There'll be certain situations where they'll need to come on, and obviously what you get with DJ is a little bit more, perhaps a little bit more guile, a little bit more finishing quality than Gordon gives you, but you will lose the pressing and the chasing and the intensity that he plays with up front. So yeah, we've got, but it's good that you've got different players that have got different qualities. You need that in a squad, and they'll have their part to play, no doubt.
To Seb, Jackson Smith, do you think his inclusion in the team as a coincidence that we're now doing a lot better since he's been in, or do you think he's had an impact on that?
Well, I think ever since Jackson Smith's come back in, or whenever he's played, really, I think the defence just looks a lot more calmer. I mean, Evans, I think a lot of people forget Evans, how good he was for us a little bit. I think he made some really important saves over his spell with us. I mean, I think he had 16 clean sheets last season, so pretty impressive. I mean, remember Salford away as well with Evans. I mean, he kept us in that game. He basically won us the game. So I think people need to remember Evans has done some decent stuff for Walsall, but you got to pick your keeper in form. And Jackson Smith, I think, is a bit more commanding. He does drop a few clangers at times, which he hasn't been punished for yet. But I think his whole presence, his distribution, it's a lot better. And I think the way we want to play and set up, I think Jackson Smith's number one, 100%. And yeah, I think ever since he's come in, I think he's had a real good impact on the team.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. He has an energy to him, doesn't he? He has an energy to him. Owen Evans last season was very, very good, but this season it doesn't seem himself. It's not quite been the same level. And the frustration of him holding on to the ball when we're trying to counter-attack was just sort of winding everybody up. And Jackson Smith, generally, is sort of getting that ball out. As you say, he has had a few clangers where he's got lucky. But maybe it's his energy that sort of keeps him there, sort of thing. But it's something he's got to be careful of. I did speak with his dad, because the criticism of Jackson Smith is that he doesn't come out and claim the ball enough. But he said that when he was at Kettering, he came out and grabbed everything. Maybe it's just getting used to the team and getting more minutes. So maybe that will come for him. Maybe that will come. Question from James Evans, sort of off subject a little bit. Do you think we'll be able to keep hold of Hutch in the summer window? Phil?
I think, in answer to James's question, I think we'll struggle. I think there'll definitely be teams in for Hutch, 100%. If you look at his numbers this year, they've gone up massively from previous seasons. His consistency has improved, and I think he's going to be up there for Player of the Season this year. And I think, 12, 13 goals and a number of assists. So people will look at his stats, and he will be being monitored by several clubs, I'm sure. I know he's under contract for next season, so at least if he does go, we'll hopefully get a decent fee for him. But obviously, we all want him to stay. I think he's getting better all the time, and hopefully we can sort of look to keep building a team around him going forward. But yeah, I would imagine that there'll be teams higher up who will be eyeing his progress very carefully. And if a decent bid comes in for him, then yeah, I think we'll probably struggle to keep him.
I think maybe the only way to keep him is if we got promoted, I guess.
That would help. Yeah.
But it could still go, couldn't he, Seb?
Yeah, I think, like Phil said, I think his numbers and his assists, I think got 10 goals, 6 assists this season. It's pretty good for an attacking midfielder. It's what you expect. But yeah, he shows the quality. I think if he was a bit more consistent, he wouldn't be playing in this league, to be honest with you. He's really good technically. I'd still at times like to see him take hold of a game, take him by the scruff of the neck and win us a game at times. But, he's our most creative player. And yeah, I think we're going to struggle to keep him in the summer.
I think Doncaster did well to keep him quiet on Saturday. He didn't get a touch, did he? Hardly touch compared to normal.
No.
Yeah, I think that's a great
game.
I think that's a great point Seb just made. I mean, I was looking at this, like, for example, when we're 2-0 up at home against a team like Morecambe, that's the sort of period where I want to see Hutch running the game. We're at home, we're 2-0 up, we should be dictating the game. And he had a really sort of quiet period for 15 minutes where you didn't really see him. I think periods like that in a game is where he should be, like Seb said, dominating the show with the quality that he's got.
And people are definitely scared of him. As you probably saw on the match preview I had with Chal, he was very positive about Hutch. He even said he wanted them to sign him. Right, I did sort of correct him that his chances, the likelihood of him going to Doncaster is fairly remote. But we'll move on from that. John Fletcher comment. What's changed for me is the little tweak in not playing 2 CDMs. So having Earing back in the team, and we've got that attacking impetus now, haven't we? Because Hutch was largely on his own, wasn't he, as far as creating? But having Earing alongside him has given us a more attacking element, I think. That's fair to say, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Agree with that.
Just catching one of your comments. It's been such a long time as Saddlers. We're all united as supporters and backing the lads. The atmosphere has been brilliant. All we ever want to see is the lads putting the effort in. Well, they're certainly doing that, aren't they? And next one we got. Can I mention Allen? He's Taylor Allen. He's done so well since he came in, really maturing. Had his critics, but I rate him. Well, I did put on Twitter my apologies because I couldn't understand why he got a contract, and now I feel embarrassed that I doubted him because the striker turned winger, turned wing back, turned centre half. He's found a position that he's absolutely bossing. So a big player for us, and I think a contract extension is on the way for him, I would think. Thinking about our challenges. What's our biggest challenge going into the running? 11 games. We have, in the past, done okay against the teams at the top and struggled at the teams lower down. So how can we correct that and keep things going? And what could potentially mess us up? We go to Seb first.
I just think we've got to keep taking every game as it comes, really, one game at a time. And, I think if we can even get a few more wins on the road, I think we're going to be up there. I think our home form is excellent. So, yeah, I think, like you say, we've struggled against the lower teams. I mean, we've got Forest Green Saturday. I think that could be a potential slip-up. But to be honest with you, the way we're playing, we shouldn't fear anyone at the moment. I think we've got the right basis of an excellent team going forward. But, like I said, we've just got to take each game as it comes, really, and, to keep getting them wins on the board.
One game at a time. That's the thing. Phil, same?
Yeah, I think our biggest challenge is going to be keeping the form going that we're currently showing over the next 11 games. That is going to be tough to do. But what I hope doesn't happen is if we lose again, because I think, let's face it, we'll probably lose again at some point soon. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying, this can't go on forever. This run. There will come a point where it hits the buffers in some way, and we lose a game. And I just hope we hold our nerve if we do lose a game, and that Sadler doesn't, throw the baby out with the bathwater and doesn't go and make sweeping changes and use it as an excuse to bring certain players back in, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think we need, it's working at the moment, and it's proved that it's working over a substantial period of games. So if we do lose, I hope he holds his nerve and he just sticks to what's been working, and we go again, and we hopefully put another run together, because it is going to, it's the running is always tough. We are down to the bare bones in certain areas as well. There's not a lot of cover defensively. I don't know what, if a couple of the current centre halves got injured, I don't know what we'd do. Who would?
Yeah.
I don't know whether there's any chance of us bringing Evan Weir in or rolling in. I don't know. I'm not sure the situation is there.
I suppose we could pull Rowling back, couldn't we, Ronin? Yeah.
Yeah. So I suppose there could be options there, but that would be my biggest thing. Just if we do have a couple of indifferent games, couple of indifferent results, don't hold your nerve, don't make wholesale changes. Just keep going with what's working at the moment.
Yeah. Just coming back very briefly to the Hutch question. As a replacement for Hutch, if he was to go, we've got Ram and Jamie Jellis, haven't we? I think Jamie Jellis is perhaps more of a box-to-box, more of a Hutch kind of player. Could Jack Earing slip into that role? We don't think about that yet, do we?
I think Jack Earing's more of a link player. I think he can do a lot of the defensive stuff, and he can link the play going into midfield. I mean, that pass for was it Adebayo's goal against Morecambe, wanted to Jamil Matt, I thought outstanding. I think it's like we said earlier, I think Jack Earing's been a massive role to play in with us going on forward. I think we've only lost once with him starting. I think that's Stockport away. So yeah, he's been outstanding. Jack Earing has outstanding. Yeah.
So there's possibilities there. Matt Sadler talks about sort of it's a project that we're still building. So they're sort of trying to keep a lid on it and not get carried away, which I think naturally people will get carried away. We've sort of moved into the playoff picture, but we need to remember the chasing pack is very close. A lot of those have got to play each other, which will sort of help us to create a bit of a gap if we keep winning. But there's still plenty of football to play yet if we're going to make the playoffs. Any talk of third, I think, is probably a bit of a question. And I think Phil's spot on. An injury to a centre half now would be a massive blow for the season. In the midfield, we've got coverage. We've got coverage in the middle, and up front, we've got coverage. DJ's back on the grass with his boot off. So that's an option there. The Priest, I spoke to the Priest briefly after the game, and he said he was pretty much ready to go, or he's not far away. But he said, I don't think they need me at the minute, which is fairly good comment from a player. So that's nice. Yeah. What's the next comment we got on here? Let's have a look. Come on, Phil. We're going to win the next 11. That's Lee. He says he couldn't make the show, and now he's on it. We can't win the next 11, surely.
If we win the next 11, I'll buy Lee his season ticket for next season.
Well, we haven't. Brody is. I've lost my thing now. Hang on. Brody's saying he's going to run round in his pants if we get third. So there's all. I don't know where he's going to run around in his pants. He hadn't sort of specified that, but I think we don't want him running on the pitch because you get banned, wouldn't he? I can't find my notes now. With our next 6 games, let's just get it up on here, it'll be easier. Our next 6 games, we need to sort of replicate what we've been doing, haven't we?
Of course, yeah.
My preparation has gone out the window, hasn't it? Let's have a look. I do prepare for these things. Here it is, a great name. So Doncaster, 3 points, nice. Forest Green Rovers away, Barrow at home, Colchester away, Swindon at home, MK Dons away. So how many points are we going to get from this 12? From this 6 games? We got 13 from the last 6. So from this 6, how many can we get? We've already got 3.
I was going to say, so you've already included the 3 from Doncaster in that.
Yeah, we've got the 3 from Doncaster. We're up to 12 points, I reckon.
All right,
we get 12 points. So we've got 3 from Doncaster. So what do you reckon?
Right, I've got my pad out here. Go on. I'm just.
We're getting all technical now. Forest Green Rovers away. Would we be happy with a point?
Could be one of them. I think their game's tougher than what they speak. I think Forest Green are fighting for their lives. They'll be up for it. So I won't be happy with a point, but still keeps the unbeaten run going, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I think
shouldn't fear anyone.
No, but I think Forest Green under Cottrell, a different proposition to what they would have been a few weeks ago. He'll have them organised. He'll have them fighting. He knows what he's doing. Cottrell, he'll have them organised. He'll have them fighting for their lives. I think they lost yesterday, but am I right? Did they beat Wrexham last week, or did Wrexham equalise right at the end? Or
Wrexham equalised late on, didn't they?
Yeah, but I know that not to be underestimated. And the same for Colchester. They're going to be fighting for their lives as well. So there's going to be no easy pickings there. Barrow next Tuesday is a big game. They've had a couple of postponements recently, so I think they've got a couple of
on the bounce, haven't they? Barrow.
As I say, they've lost a few games and they've had a few games called off. So we've gone above them. They've still got a couple of games in hand on us. So if we can get 3 points against them, that would be a really big win. I'll go for 10 points from the next 5, Simon. That keeps. But that
10.
Yeah, well, that keeps our current form going. We're averaging 2 points a game over the last sort of 15, 16 games, and that'll keep that going. If we get 10 from the next 5, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah,
I think about 12.
Sorry, Seb, go on.
I think about 10. I think Barrow's going to be our toughest game. But we don't ever seem to get results over Barrow. I remember a few seasons ago when Josh Gordon scored last minute. The game this season away was absolutely dreadful. But no, Barrow good side, but we've got some winnable games in there. MK Dons away as well. That'd be a tough one. But around 10 points, that'd be excellent return, really.
Yeah,
excellent.
I think for me, I was hoping for 12. Lee, of course, is saying 18. I'm loving his optimism. I think if we were to win the 6 and get 18 points, then we are properly looking at top 3, aren't we? Then.
Yeah, we would be. Yeah, we'd be on the fringes. Yeah.
Be on the fringe of top 3. Which, bear in mind, sort of 8 days ago we were 16th.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
We were talking about how many teams we've got to go past, and then suddenly we're sort of flying past them all. That's it's mad. Yeah, I think against the top teams we've done very well at home. So that Barrow is a very key game. If we get 3 points against the Barrow, not lose against Forest Green, not lose away to Colchester, Swindon at home.
We need to
they're struggling a bit, really, but it's again.
Yeah.
And then MK Dons away. That's again looking for another point. That would be 12. Win at home, draw away, 12 points, and that would set us up nice for the last 6, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a bit crazy. This is to have all this. I don't really want to say the word joy, but it is joy's returned, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just not. Yeah, I think we both said right at the start. I don't think either of us or any of us on here thought that we'd be, talking about a playoff push at the next fan chat from where we were at the last one and from where we were, 5 or 6 games ago. It's just great to be in this position. So, Yeah, I just hope we keep it going. I knew he was going to come up with this one, Lee. He was talking about this at Harrogate, wasn't he? About winning Wimbledon away on the 27th. Yeah. Yeah, let's hope it is. Let's hope there is something on the game. You know, or you know, maybe we might even be, you know, if Lee's optimism comes true, maybe we might, you know, we might be safe in the playoffs by then, Lee. Who knows? I don't know. But for now, I'm just happy that we're in with a shout. We're on good form. We seem to have hit form at the right time, which I think is crucial. There's always a couple of teams every year. There's always a couple of teams that come up on the rails and come late into the playoffs and put themselves into the playoff picture. And let's hope that that's us this year.
Well, I think it does seem like it's us, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There, one person that we're very happy after Saturday's result would be Adam Davey from the Walsall Foundation, because every time they get the kids in, 1,500 kids, every time they get the kids in, we get beat. So I think we won the last one, and then we won again today. So that's good for future Saddlers fans. Sort of see whether we can get them back, because we're going to need them, aren't we? We're going to need them. As they said on the managers forum, the club is going forward. The building blocks are in place. Things are moving. And as we said on the fan chat, yeah, we get all that. But how about the team? And now the team are starting to kick into gear and moving in the right direction. It's great, isn't it, really? We're loving it. 2 points a game from now will be 76. That was 5th and 6th last year. And with how condensed the league is, that could get us even higher. But as we say, with the Hutch situation, we've got to really get up. And this is a problem we've had in the past. If Walsall have a good season and don't get promoted, all the best players get pulled away. But Trevella have been a bit smart, haven't they? We've got players signed up for next season. So we get players signed up for next season. So they're not going to just be able to just pull our players out for free, pretty much. We were about to finish, but we got Lee. He's appeared. Hello, Lee.
Hello. Evening. How are we all?
He did say that if he came on, he was going to just say nothing for an hour and just grin because he was saying he was right. So what do you think, Lee?
It's been fantastic, hasn't it, the last 5 games? But I think it's been coming all season because, let's face it, League 2, I don't think it's as good as what a lot of people before the season started is. I think probably, in my opinion, you've probably got Mansfield, Stockport are the 2 teams that play the better football. Yeah. And then Wimbledon and Barrow have been the 2 teams so far that have bullied us into sort of getting wins over us. But week in, week out, going home and away, I haven't been overly impressed with anybody else. And I think there's about 15 teams. That's all of the very muchness. So I think it just comes down to who wants it the most, who gets a bit of luck of the run of the green, and who's got that bit of quality. And I think with players we've got now, Earing, Hutchinson, we have got that quality. And also in our front sort of positions, we've got quality with Gordon, Jamil Matt, Fowl, DJT, and even DJ when he comes back. So there's no fear. For me, last 11 games, no fear. If we win them all, great. If we don't, we don't. But let's go and have a go. And I don't think anybody in the remaining games we've got left really will want to play us, especially at home. Because I think you saw Saturday, that atmosphere Saturday was absolutely fantastic. That's the best I've seen it down the Bescott for years.
Yeah, it's Phil said right at the very start. It's a pleasure to go again now. It's not like visiting an elderly relative. It's a fun time to go, isn't it?
Well, it is, and I think even going to Forest Green on Saturday, I think you'll see we'll sell out our allocation of tickets there, and the atmosphere again will be electric like it was at Harrogate. And I think that's going to be a key part to these remaining games as well, because I think that helps the team so much. Even if they're having a bit of a bad 10, 15 minutes, the way the fans are just non-stop singing and just the encouragement and the positivity coming from home or away, I think that just spurs the players on to get that extra 5-10% out of them. And I think that's what's going to be key in these remaining games. And I can't see us not making the playoffs now, because I think we've got it in us. I think the belief is there. Even if we're losing a game, I can see them just going in the 94th, 95th minute. That you can just see it in the players. They want it so much. And I think that's the biggest difference this year, the way the players really want it.
And I think Matt Sadler needs to get some credit for that, doesn't he? He's got the team together. We were critical of Matt Sadler for the long game, and keeping faith with the manager is starting to pay off.
Yeah, I'll put my hands up to that, Simon. I mean, sort of throughout the season, I've been questioning him and saying I don't think he's up to the job. The last two months at least, he's proved me totally wrong, and he has. I think he's developed and improved so much. I think the players have helped him out a great deal, but when you're the head coach, I think it's your man management style, and you can see the players want to play for him.
Yeah.
So that gets you a long way. I mean, at the end of the day, you do need to have some technical ability and be good. But the fact that they are a team and they're all fighting for each other, they're throwing the bodies on the line to put blocks in, and you can just see when they defend and they don't concede a goal, they're celebrating. And when they go down the other end and get a goal, they're all celebrating. There's not like just an individual or individuals. It's a whole team collective, and that can take you so much further than you really realise. It's the whole squad is that much together, and that's what's going to get us over the line in the end.
Yeah. Seb, are you sharing that confidence now? You think we can get there?
Oh, 100%. It's like we're saying, the belief's there. And I think if you've got that in a team, you know, I play football, and if you believe in everyone's ability in your side, you're going to go far. And yeah, I think, like you said, credit to Sadler. I've had his doubts as well, but he's really got this team playing at the moment. I think he's been lucky a little bit. I mean, Jackson Smith had to come back in at Crawley because Owen Evans got suspended. Few injuries to the back line, which I wouldn't have seen him making. But you need that look sometimes in football, and you know, credit to him. Sadler, I think, he's got us going.
Yeah, I think a big thing for Sadler, I've mentioned it a few times already on the channel. When we went to Notts County, he put Tom Knowles onto their guy. Jody Jones. Jody Jones runs everything for Notts County, and Tommy Knowles just stopped him playing. And so tactically, I don't think Matt Sadler's as naive as perhaps some thought he was. We have criticised him for his subs, but as we said earlier on, he's using that bench better now. He's got more confidence in the bench. I think he just hadn't had confidence in the bench. I don't think he wanted to blood Ronan Meyer because of his age, really, because he's already a very young squad. But the minutes that Ram's getting at Rushall, he's going to be ready for the first team squad next season. Joe Fowkes not had much game time, but he's going to be closer to the first team next season. Jamie Jellis, he's coming through as well. So what they were saying on Thursday about building the project, and it's a building process. It's looking good. But
sorry, Simon, on that as well. I think I heard you earlier. I think Ben Boycott and Trivella, the pro guy, take a lot of credit. Obviously, we don't know what's been said behind closed doors, but I would guess probably he had a word with Sadler and the coaching staff and just said, "Look, I've got your backs. As long as you go out and you give it a good go," and we are giving it a good go. If we lose together and we win together. But what I'll do is I'll back you, and as long as you're playing football and you're having a go, I'll back you. And I think that's what's sort of, because I think you said earlier, I think from the Notts County game onwards, sort of the shackles have come. I'm not saying they've come off totally, but I think Matt Sadler just looks a lot more freer and a lot more animated. There's been times when we've been on here and I've said to you, he's hardly moved down that sideline. I mean, against Harrogate, I thought he'd been on the old sugar because the energy he had on that sideline, and he was like getting the players going, and he just feeds. Like if the players can see him being that energetic, they'll be energetic as well. It's one of them things, isn't it? If you see your managers that like in within it, emotional and he's showing it gives you that. So I think, like I said, we'll never know what Ben Boycott actually said to Sadler in the team. But I've got a funny feeling he probably said, let's go out and let's have a go. If we lose, we lose. But if we're going to lose, let's at least lose having a go and having a good go. And whatever happens, I'll back you. And I think that's what's happened. And I think that's probably done Matt Sadler and the players the world of good. Because especially when you've got younger players, if you can give them that bit of backing and that confidence and just tell them to go out, enjoy the football, which they are doing, because you can see they're all enjoying it, and have a go. And that's what's happening at the moment, and we're getting the results. And then, if we lose the next couple of games, so what? We'll go again. There's nobody to fear in this division. We'll make it.
And just going back to Phil for a second, playing football yourself, momentum and morale is just everything, isn't it? In football.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think playing football myself. Yeah, thank you. Reference to my limited career in local club football, but yeah, I think when you, it's not a difficult formula to work. When you're winning and when confidence is up, you can't wait for the next game, and you can't wait for training, and you're buzzing, and you're ready to go every week, and that is evident at the moment. You can see there's an energy, there's a confidence about the team, and as I say, I think that it's been a bit of a slow burner this season, but that's been a massive change in the team in recent weeks. We've got a settled team, a settled formation. They look like they know what they're doing. They know when to let teams have the ball, when to press, when to counter attack. Everything's just coming together at the right time. But yeah, confidence. And the other thing I didn't say earlier on, which I think has been a big thing, is that there is competition for places in certain areas in the team, and you've got to have that. That is a really healthy part of any squad that's being successful. We talked about the Jackson Smith and Owen Evans thing earlier. In fan chat earlier on in the season, we talked about what a good signing Ryan Stirk has been and how well he played in the first half of the season. He can't get a game at the moment because Conley's been excellent. Ross Tierney showed a lot of promising signs in the early part of the season. He can't get a game at the moment because Jack Earing's been superb since he came back in. So there is, I know we're perhaps a bit stretched in certain areas, but there is competition for places. Same with the defence. I agree, with what Seb said earlier on. Maybe Sadler did get a little bit lucky with some of the injuries, and he was almost forced to put these three together. But now they've got such a good understanding at the back that Priestley and Donovan and I know McKenty's out, but when they are fit, they're going to struggle to get back in this season because they're playing so well. So that competition for places as well, it's a good thing, and it's bringing the best out of certain players because they know that they've got to stay on their game because there are other players that can step in and do the job if they don't. So it's all positive at the moment, and you can really see that energy and that confidence in the team.
Comment there from John Sadler. It's the fans have sort of stepped up as well, I think, because we're going for it more. The fans can see that. The fans can see the positive mindset, and they get behind that. There's a couple of tactical things I'm sort of liking, because if we go back a few months, how many times has a ball gone directly into a centre forward? And Adebayo has been doing that, and Tyler Allen, sending the ball directly into Josh Gordon, directly into Jamil Matt.
That's a big. Sorry, Simon, but I think that's a big plus of the current back three. The quality of the ball they play out of defences, I think, has improved significantly. Taylor Allen's naturally left-footed, so you've got that balance on the left-hand side. Yeah. He plays the ball forward well. I think Akagbu, since he's gone into the centre, I would argue that he's been as good as Priestley in the middle. I think he's been outstanding in the middle of the three, and Adebayo looks like he's going to be a real top player. So and yet, absolutely, 100%. The quality of the ball that they play out from the back, they can all play a bit, and it really shows. And I think that's helped Jamil Matt as well. I think that they're actually playing decent quality balls up to Jamil Matt, not just lumping something in a general area.
Well, they're playing it into his feet rather than playing it into his head. Yeah. But it's, as Matt Sadler said on Thursday, it's varying. It is the key. Not being too predictable. The guy that sits next to me, Keith, is always moaning that when we get a goal kick, everybody's all clumping over one side, and we've got Liam Gordon, who's lightning, if we just knock the ball over to the left-hand side, he's got the half of the pitch to run at. So I think a bit of variation in that wouldn't help, wouldn't harm us. I mean, but we'll see. But we can't complain too much at the minute, can we? Right then. Final thoughts, Seb?
Well, keep it going, eh? 11 games, 11 cup finals left. Let's see how many points we can get. Well, good momentum, and I can't see anyone stopping us at the moment if we're playing like we do. But yeah, we've got the right balance. I think that's the key at the moment throughout the team. The midfield's completely balanced. We've got Comley, Evie, Hutchinson. Back three. Can we just talk about Taylor Allen's deliveries, though? Outstanding. How good are we off set pieces as well now? I've been saying it for years. Why aren't we good at corners? And I think, Watson, the goalkeeping coach, has got to take a lot of credit. I think he does a lot behind the scenes in terms of corners and stuff. So, yeah, we look dangerous every time.
Genius, isn't he, for a keeper? Yeah. Brilliant. Phil, final word?
Outstanding.
Yeah. No, go on, Seb, sorry. Just very quick.
Yeah, keep it going.
Yeah, just on Isaac's point there. Yeah, again, talking about the quality of the ball coming out from the back. That's a great point. It's not just from the back three; it's from Jackson Smith as well. We go back to the first goal yesterday. There was the ball was played back to Jackson Smith, and there was a Doncaster player pressing him, and he switched it back onto his left foot, put the attacker on his arse, and pinged a beautiful ball out to Liam Gordon, which set the attack going. Little things like that make a massive difference. My overall thoughts are, as Seb said, let's keep it going. And the biggest thing for me is, as I said earlier on, I'm just enjoying going to watch Walsall again, and long may that continue.
That's it, Lee.
I'd like to revise my 75-point prediction. I think I've got that wrong. I think it's going to be 87.
87.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with that. We did miss you on this. Next 6 games. Oh, you said 18 points, didn't you?
Yeah, why not? We've got nobody to fear. Who's to fear in that list of 6 games?
I think MK Dons are a bit tough. But I think you're quite right. We've got every chance of
look,
taking
Simon, on a serious note, we've got 11 games left, right? We could quite easily win all them 11 games, or we could lose quite a few of them, right? But I think the way we are at the moment as a club, we'll go into every game and we'll just have a go. If we lose, we lose. But if we're going to lose, somebody's going to have to be really, really good, because I think even if we're losing 2-0, this team will not give up. We've seen it in the last couple of months now. We could be down and you think we're out. We're not. These players want it, and they're fighting for each other, and they will go all the way. And I think somebody who does turn up in these 11 games to beat us are going to have a really, really good game to beat us, because I don't think there's any fear in any of the players. They're just going out, enjoying what they're doing, playing well, playing hard, and I think Sadler, Waddock, Watson, and Boyfield tactically have been absolutely outstanding the last 7 or 8 games. Even the games that we have lost, tactically, they've been near enough spot on. And I think, like I said, the remaining 11 games, no fear at all, mate. Go out and let's have a go and see what happens. And if we do end up on 87 points, all the better. If we don't, we don't. But let's go and try.
If we finish these 6 games with 10 points, that will be sort of solidifying our playoffs. If we get sort of 12, 13 points, we're going to be knocking on the door for top 3, I think, aren't we?
Yeah. Honestly, Simon, if we get to the last 4 games and we're on about 63, 64 points, we're well in it. Because I think you'll have a look, most seasons, sort of 74, 75 points gets you in and around that top 7. So if we can get to the last 4 games of the season and we're like sort of 8 or 9 points off that 75-point total, then it's in our hands, isn't it? Because then the last 4 games, you can just go for it and go and enjoy it.
As we've said, the remaining games we've got, the majority of them are in bottom half teams.
Well, there's no
You're fighting for a different reason, isn't it?
There's no pressure on us, because if we do not make the playoffs and we just finish outside, everybody say we've had a terrific season. I mean, I think we're 1 point off our best total since we've been in League Two, because I think the most we've had since we've been down in League Two has been 55 points?
Yeah,
or 56.
55. Yeah.
So we've got 11 games to beat our best total while we've been in League Two. So let's just go and have a go and see where it ends. And it'll end up Wimbledon on a promotion party.
I'm liking the sound of that. That's good sum up there, Lee. Thank you. Thanks very much. Been brilliant having you on, Seb. Good to join the team. So, Walsall Fan TV, the joy and the pain. We're finding some joy. We just need to keep it going, don't we? Right then. Thanks for watching, everybody. That's on YouTube and on the podcast as well. Champion. Cheers. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.